Flowcharts. This is the final section in the planning phase of the web development process. It goes hand in hand with the last tutorial, which looked at storyboards. You really can't investigate storyboards and deal with it fully unless you deal with flowcharts, and vice versa. Flowcharts looks at the navigational structure of the website, where the storyboard focused on each individual page in isolation really. The flowchart looks at how they all link together, and more importantly, how they link, or as importantly, how they link to the outside world. We've also got to look at whether links are one-way or two-way, and we've also got to make sure that our website is optimized so that we don't have too many steps in order to achieve what we need to. Okay, so a relatively flat managerial structure is the way to look at these kind of things. Okay, so we'll have a quick look at flowcharts and what they are, and examples of them, and what's good and what's bad about certain things. Okay, so as I've mentioned, the flowchart section is the last section under the planning phase, so it's the fifth after storyboards. Okay, so what is a flowchart? Well, exactly as the name suggests, it outlines the structure, navigational structure, both internally and externally of a proposed website to enable the designer to construct effective websites. To be quite honest, it's not until you start to draw the flowchart of your website do you see how simplistic it can be, or how complex it can be. Okay. It's all about trying to make it as straightforward on the user as possible. Okay, and that's a really important thing to keep in mind. Okay, so for instance, this is an example of a flowchart. I might admit, not a very good example of a flowchart, but an example of a flowchart. Okay, for starters, what I just want to point out here is that the home page in this particular example is in the middle. Okay. I'm going to say that is something that everyone should probably try to avoid, because what it means that is, that certain pages like About Us, if they want to go from the About Us section to the Dublin Town section, they have to go through the home page to do so. Okay, and a simple navigational structure that, like we looked at for Kilmainham Jail, didn't have that. It had 5 items across the top, and homepage was one of them, which meant that all of them had equal standing, which is good, because it means that you're not going, you don't hit the back button to go forward, to go back, to go forward again, and so on. Okay. Now, on top of that, what they've done here, which is quite good, is that they signify external links with certain colors. Okay, so you can see here that they have a legend down here in the bottom. Okay, where they have external links shown with certain colors. And you'll also probably notice that most of the external links, or in fact all of them in this case here, are one-way links. Okay. Now, that's not always the case. In this case here, their Instagram page, if they have an Instagram page, the Instagram page should also more than likely link back to the homepage of the website. The same with their Twitter page, and the same with their Facebook page. So these kind of things are something to kind of to keep in mind. Okay. So that's one example. We'll move on and show other examples here. Okay, so straight away here, this is similar to the last one in that the home page is at the top. Quite often the home page is not as prominent as this. It actually fits in with everything that's on your main menu. Now, what's wrong with this particular sitemap, if I was just going to finish it off? Well, for starters, there's no arrows. It doesn't say whether something is a one-way communication or two-way communication. On top of that, it doesn't highlight things in different colors to show pages maybe are external or internal, or pages are within a certain section on the website. So all of these things are good little rules to remember. Okay. Same with this one here. Their home page is in the center, which means that there's a lot of, if you wanted to go from personal stories page to the way we work page, you have to go through the home page. That's not necessary. It's not essential. It shouldn't work that way. As well as that, there's no way of knowing if any of these pages are internal or external. In other words, whether they belong to this website or somebody else's website. And on top of that, there is no directional arrows, so it's hard to see whether something is one-way or two-way communication. Okay, so you start to see these things working in different ways, and you'd say, right, okay, I can understand these ones here. This one here is important here because it means that all of these pages, you can see the arrows here, difficult to see them, but they're there. All of these pages up here means that they can go from this page to this page to this page to this page. All of them have a direct link to one another, which is important. Okay, and you can also see from this page it will go to these 4 pages. But if you have a menu across the top, it also means that probably these 4 pages can go to any one of these pages up here. So keep that in mind. Make sure that your flow chart directly resembles and is constructed in conjunction with your storyboard. Here we have an example of a website from a few years ago. And while there are certain things in here which are very good with regards to the color scheme, and it shows links to internal and external, the different colored links and so on, there's other parts that are just letting the whole flow chart down a little bit here. For starters, the home page in the middle. The home page shouldn't actually be in the middle. The home page should actually be out here like that, with another link going in there and a circle in the middle like that. Okay, which get rid of the home page altogether, put it out here, home page, and so on. Okay, which means it has the same priority as any of these red ones in the middle here. On top of that, another issue down here we can see here is all these arrows, and all these arrows up here look like spaghetti junction. So my advice would be to simplify those. There's nothing wrong with them. In fact, you'll get the marks for them, but it becomes very difficult to see exactly what's going on in a lot of cases here. So what I'm just going to do is change the color of this and reduce the line down a little bit here. And what I'm going to do up here in the corner here is just show maybe the way this should work here. So you put a little roundabout in the middle, and just say you have 4 pages. Rather than showing links going from one page to the other page, what you do is you actually show your 4 pages. Obviously you name them, and you just simply put a bidirectional arrow going like this, like this, like this, and like this. Okay, now what that simply means is that all of these pages can visit any one of the other pages without showing the equivalent of 4 or 8 or 10 arrows in here in the middle going left, right and center. It's a lot more simplistic, it's a lot more straightforward. And the same thing would happen here with the home page in the middle, with your link coming in and your home page out here. Okay, so get the home page box out of here, and then just one simple arrow going in and out of everything. Bidirectional, meaning that all pages can view all other pages. Okay, on to the Kilmainham jail example here. Now this is actually quite good in many ways, because what you see here is exactly the example I was saying a minute ago about the roundabout in the middle and the bidirectional arrows going in. Okay, same with the roundabout here, the bidirectional arrows going to the main menu with the home on the outside, not here in the middle. Okay, as well as that, it shows links to YouTube in different colors, which are one-way arrows. Now with Facebook, in fact, they could probably do a bidirectional arrow here. Okay, and from their YouTube channel, if they had a YouTube channel, they could have a link back as well to their homepage. Okay, and then you see the good thing here, it's very nice. They've got their subsections in different colors here and here. And these, if you remember, are the 3 buttons that came from the Explore page. And these are 3 buttons that came from the information page. Okay, so it shows how they, while they're bidirectional from here to here, they are only monodirectional back to these ones here, which means that the coffee shop, frequently asked questions, and other attractions all have the actual main menu, which is home, explore, and so on it. And as well as that, it's the same here with this. If you notice, all 11 pages are shown here on the actual flow chart, and then they have links to external pages as well from other attractions as well. So in its entirety, it's quite neat and very easy to follow, and a very good example of a flow chart. Okay, So the flowchart is the final part of our planning stage. So system analysis, content analysis, publication, promotion information, storyboards and flowcharts, all looked at over the last 5 tutorials. They really come together to give us good, specific information about what it is we're trying to achieve throughout our website, so we know exactly how it looks, how it feels, how it moves, how it flows, how we're going to promote it, where we're going to publish it, what kind of content goes on in every section, and its compatibility with other devices, other browsers, etc. So all of those things have been covered in the planning stage. And together with the analysis stage, we have a very good comprehensive understanding of what we're trying to do throughout our design specification. Okay, so just to move on here very quickly here, what we've got is, this is assignment 1. Up to this very point, we are after dealing with everything to do with assignment 1. Okay, the design specification is assignment 1, and it covers the analysis, the idea, the analysis phase, which is aims, objectives, audience analysis, project information, time cost analysis, and the planning phase, which is system analysis, content analysis, publication and promotion information, storyboard and flowchart. So everything up until this point is what is expected for assignment 1. Just to let you know, and just to remind you, that there are 5 examples currently up on the website and up on Dropbox. And they're very different examples, but they're good examples. They're all very good examples of good design specification. And Kilmainham Jail is one of them, and that's the one we're after been dealing with throughout the course so far. So it brings us to the end of planning. So from now on, we'll be dealing with design and moving on into the other aspects of the course.